YouTube, it's your boy Jo, and today we're gonna be reacting to was Prime Ninja really that good? So let's get into today's video. So I do remember Prime Ninja, and Prime Ninja was that guy. So let's get to today's video.
In 2018, one man broke the internet. He played with every celebrity you could think of, hit 600,000 live viewers, and broke every record on Twitch. And he transformed gaming from a cringe hobby to every person's dream job. But here's the question no one wants to ask. Was Prime Ninja really that good? Before Fortnite even existed, Ninja was already a professional gamer. Tyler Blevins started competing in 2009. His first event was at MLG Orlando playing Halo 3, and he was 18 years old grinding through open brackets. Back then, MLG was the proving ground for competitive gaming. If you wanted to be considered a real pro, you had to perform there. And Ninja did. By 2011, he'd worked his way up to Final Boss, one of the most legendary Halo teams in history. This team had won 22 championships, and they were the dynasty of competitive Halo. Ninja was playing alongside some of the best players in the world, and in 2012, he won the Halo 4 MLG Championship. This was not a content creator tournament or a charity event. It was a real competitive championship against other pro teams. He proved he had the gaming genetics years before he ever touched Fortnite. Ninja started playing Fortnite in late 2017. Just like everyone else, he was figuring out the game, but by early 2018, something clicked. While most streamers were still learning how to build, Ninja was dropping 20 bombs every game on stream like it was nothing. He wasn't just playing the game, he was running through everyone. By February 2018, he was averaging 80 to 100,000 concurrent viewers. Every single time he went live, these are the numbers he was pulling. He was far and away the biggest viewers. Every single time.
Whoa. Damn, them a lot of numbers.
Time he went live, these are the numbers he was pulling. He was far and away the biggest Fortnite streamer in the world, and this is all because he really was that good. Oh my god! Then came March 14th, 2018. The night that changed gaming forever. Drake, the biggest artist in the world, slid into Ninja's DMs and asked to play Fortnite. They teamed up with Travis Scott and Juju Smith-Schuster, and 628,000 people tuned in live. It was the most watched individual stream in Twitch history, and this was a record that Ninja would break again 1 month later at his Vegas event. And after the stream with Drake, gaming went mainstream overnight. Ninja appeared on ESPN, got featured in New York Times, and even streamed New Year's from Times Square.
I'm not seeing enough movement!
He was the first esports player to ever be on the cover of ESPN. And the money? At his peak, Ninja was making millions of dollars per month. This wasn't just success. The money? At his peak, Ninja was making millions of dollars per month. This wasn't just success. This was a complete cultural takeover. But here's the thing. At this point, Ninja had only proven himself in public matches, stomping on random players who barely knew how to build. Anybody with enough skill could drop high kill games in lobbies full of noobs. So people started asking the real question, can Ninja hang with the best of the best? Throughout 2018, competitive Fortnite was still just beginning. And there were only 3 main competitive events that year. The first one was the Fortnite Pro-Am. This was a celebrity and streamer event where 50 content creators teamed up with 50 celebrities to compete for $3 million in charity prize money. Ninja teamed up with Marshmello, and they dominated. Together, they won the Golden Pickaxe Trophy and $1 million for the charity of their choice. Now, was this a true competitive event? Not exactly. It was more of a show match, but Ninja showed up and performed when it mattered. The next event was Friday Fortnite. This was a $20,000 kill race tournament hosted by Keemstar, where 2 duos would queue into the same squad match and compete to see who could get more eliminations. This was by far the most entertaining competitive format in 2018, and Ninja was a monster at it. With his duo partners, he consistently finished in the top 2 almost every single week, and he won multiple times with different partners. The only person who could consistently compete with Ninja in Friday Fortnite was Tfue. Week after week, it came down to Ninja versus Tfue. But Friday Fortnite was a kill race. It wasn't the same as a true competitive lobby. This is where Epic started testing actual competitive formats. 100 players in the same lobby, and whoever played the best would win. This would be Ninja's first taste of real competitive Fortnite. So how did Ninja hold up against other pro players? Honestly, pretty decent, but not dominant. Throughout the summer skirmish, he usually finished between 15th and 25th place. Respectable, but not elite. His best performance came in Fall Skirmish Week 7, where him and his duo Dr. Lupo placed second. This was his highest placement in a real competitive event. So at this point, the picture was becoming clearer. In kill races and public lobbies, Ninja was a monster, one of the best in the world by far. But in stacked competitive lobbies with 100 pro players, he was decent, but not the best. The real goats of this era were players like Tfue, Bizzle, and Mitro, who were constantly winning or getting top 3. So the tournaments in 2018 were just a warm-up, but then came the real test. past. In 2019, Epic announced the biggest esports event in history, the Fortnite World Cup. $30 million in prize money and open qualifiers where literally anyone could compete. Every serious player in the world started grinding, and this was going to separate the true pros from everyone else. And Ninja wanted in. For duos, he teamed up with Reverse 2K. Reverse was a legitimate competitor, and they had a real potential to make a run. The World Cup qualifiers lasted 10 weeks. Each weekend, players competed for a chance at the top 3 spots that would punch their ticket to New York. Week 2, they did not qualify. Week 4, they tried again and fell short once again. But then came week 6. This was their best shot. Going into the final game, they were on the bubble. They just needed one more decent game to secure their spot, but ultimately, they finished 2 points short of qualifying. Ninja took it hard. You could see the frustration on stream. He knew this was his chance to prove himself on the biggest stage, and he came up just short. When the World Cup happened in July of 2019, Ninja was not on stage competing. He was there as a celebrity guest doing interviews and hosting segments. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old kid named Booga won the solo event and walked away with $3 million. Now, to be fair, let's put this into perspective. The World Cup qualifiers were the most stat competition in Fortnite history. Millions of players entered and thousands of genuinely cracked competitors were grinding 12 hours a day. Only missing by 2 points while streaming all day long was really impressive, and it proved that Prime Ninja could hang in competitive lobbies. But when it came to the very top tier of players who treated competitive Fortnite like a full-time job, he wasn't quite on their level. After the World Cup, a lot of people thought Ninja was done with competitive. But when Epic announced the Fortnite Championship Series in late 2019, he had to show up again. For the Squad FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 1, he teamed up with Reverse 2K, Nate Hill, and Funkbomb. This was actually a pretty solid squad. Everybody on the roster had good placements, and there was a good chance for them to win. They had a pretty good season, and in the NA East Grand Finals, they finished 8th. Was this a championship? No. Was it proof that he was the best? Not necessarily. But this placement was better than 99.9% of players who still compete to this day. He was holding his own. But holding his own and being the best are two different things. In August of 2019, Ninja shocked the world once again. But this time, it was not for his gameplay.
Yeah, it was the Mixer. I'll show it for
announced he was leaving Twitch for Mixer. Microsoft's streaming platform was trying to compete with Twitch, and they were willing to pay whatever it took to get the biggest streamer in the world. It was supposed to be a new era, Ninja as the face of Mixer building something from the ground up, but it didn't work out that way. It was around this time where Ninja fully transitioned from competitive player to content creator. He stopped entering tournaments, stopped grinding scrims, and focused on entertaining instead of competing. On Mixer, his viewership dropped significantly, and the platform never really gained mainstream traction. And in June 2020, Microsoft made a shocking announcement. They were shutting down Mixer completely. Sadly, Ninja only made $30 million from this deal. Plus, when he eventually returned to Twitch, things were different. Fortnite had evolved, and the meta completely changed. New cracked kids had emerged, and the era of Prime Ninja was officially over. So, was Prime Ninja really that good? Absolutely yes.
Yes, absolutely, bro. He the one. It wouldn't be a lot of these young dudes if it wasn't for him.
Let's break it down. He dominated kill race formats like Friday Fortnite, he placed 2nd in a fall skirmish event, he placed 8th in FNCS Grand Finals, and he came within 2 points of qualifying for the World Cup. At his peak, he was probably a top 20 player, maybe top 10 on a good day. But here's the thing that people miss. Ninja never really claimed to be the best player in the world. He was the biggest, the most influential, and the one who changed everything. That was all completely true. While other pros were grinding 12 hours a day, Ninja was playing with Drake, appearing on ESPN, making the cover of magazines, and normalizing gaming for an entire generation. He made more money than any Fortnite pro through sheer influence and entertainment, and proved that you don't have to be the absolute best player to be the most successful. Prime Ninja wasn't the most skilled Fortnite player in history, but he might have been the most important. And honestly, that might matter even more. What do you think? Was Prime Ninja overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Man, he wasn't overrated. He was properly rated, bro. Ninja was that guy, man. Ninja was nice, bro. He had me as a young kid watching him, man. Like, Ninja had some... Oh, he was one of them guys, bro. Man, but I thank everybody for watching today's video, man. This was a 10 out of 10 video, man. I'll put the link to his video down below in my description. I thank everybody for watching. Peace.